Hello, everyone. My name is Adriana Cordova. I did my research paper on the immigration system. So, some agendas are is no one is here on illegal land. Some ICE raids are just simply unfair and biased, and how immigrants are the main staple to the U.S. government. Obviously, with this being said, we're going to be talking about the immigration system, so let's get right to it. The introduction is the government. January 2025 current population survey shows the foreign born or immigrant population hit 53.3 million and 15.8% of the total US population in January 2025, both new records high. That is an outstanding number of civilians or immigrants. Immigrants are the foundation for the American system, and they should remain here regardless of their status as they provide resources for consumers' everyday needs, bringing up the rebuttal about how no one is here on stolen or illegal on here on stolen land, and finally discussing the real reality of the unjust ICE raid systems. Claim 1 Working System. When President Trump went back into office, the number of immigrants being ostracized instantly became noticeable to the public's eyes. This targeted the hard workers that came here illegally to provide for their families. The American system forgets that the plants they eat, the toys that they buy, the phones that they use on a day to day basis are being manufactured in factories, but the ones working these factories are minorities. If the system continues to banish immigrants from these fields, then who is going to work them? What is going to happen to the economy? The economy will soon continue to plummet due to how much immigrants are like the staple of the community. Without the staple, the community will fall because it does not have its support aiding them to flourish. Almost 1 in 4 entrepreneurs in the country are immigrants. So sometimes people are like, immigrants are lazy, they come here to steal our jobs. I'm here to tell you that they are not lazy, they are hard workers. About 46% of the Fortune 500 companies were founded by immigrants or their children. Elsewhere, immigrants are helping ease the labor shortage in the healthcare industry, where 16% of nurses and about 28% of health aides were immigrants in 2023. Farm workers, nurses, teachers, construction workers, these are some examples of important jobs that are the staple to the economic system. Immigrants make up about half of the percentage. Study shows that immigrants contribute to job creation rather than job loss. For instance, in California, which has one of the highest immigrant populations, the unemployment rate is lower than the national average. Immigrants aren't lazy. They come here to the United States in search for a better life for their family and themselves. They also contribute a lot to society by taking jobs no one else wants to have or to do. Claim 2 ICE raids. Here in Texas, there has been an increase in how many ICE raids have been happening over the years. San Antonio is a very predominant Hispanic city, and because of this very reason, often you see ICE raids in certain areas. One of the main places you can often see ICE raids is in small towns, malls, school setting, airports, or even theme parks. ICE raids are separating families and breaking them up, often leaving children without someone to care for them properly. The reason that many people come here illegally is for a better life. Think about that sentence for a moment. Imagine how dreadful things must be in your own country to resort to crossing rivers or getting inside semi trucks just for a better life for your children. The systems are set to make minorities' lives much harder. The claim is, aren't they fair? Well, this can be compared to the mentality of hurting the poor and aiding the rich. It is a corrupt system with little to no help for immigrants to wait for their paper and do things the right way. Even when someone qualifies, annual immigration caps greatly delay and more frequently eliminate the immigrant's chance to come to the United States. Legal immigration is less like waiting in line and more like winning the lottery. It happens, but it's so rare that it's irrational to expect it in any individual case. Some argue the fact that it's easy for immigrants to wait the proper way to become a U.S. citizen, but most often, if not, individuals cannot wait until the government approves them due to medical situations or for a better life for their children. The systems are long and tiresome, with almost little to no hope as they become much harder every single time. This unmotivates immigrants and makes them choose to travel illegally due to how broken the systems are. Claim 3 is stolen lands. When addressing the topic of the immigration system, many Americans, like President Trump himself, will argue that they should not have waited or done things illegally and that they should not be surprised at what happens to them if they come here illegally knowing the risk. However, repeatedly over the course of history, there has been a topic that was brought up. No one is here illegally on stolen land. A lesson that was first taught to the Native Americans is now becoming more prominent with other minorities. The Native Americans were one of the first people to touch U.S. soil. However, the colonizers did not like how the Native Americans had land or were always doing different and innovative practices, so they sought to colonize their land for themselves. So, who came here first? Wasn't it Christopher Columbus? Absolutely not. He is often the most credited person here, but that is not accurate. History often plays this narrative in wanting to fabricate the truth to make the American people look like saints. Even if you yourself are American descent, people will argue the following: where did your family originally come from? Where did your ancestors come from? The responses afterwards proves that people themselves did not come here legally or had someone in their family that did not come here legally. Colonial governments on Turtle Island have long imposed artificial borders on indigenous lands, which implementing a racial system that values in the lives of white citizens over others. Corporation and government in the West have also spent centuries terrorizing and displacing communities across the global South with factories, mining, military interventions, and climate change. Conclusion: the immigration system is designed to harm immigrants rather than to help them. Immigrants are the staple to the American system, and without them, the economy would cease to exist for us individuals. They help support the community by providing consumers with their everyday needs, and not at all but how ICE raids have been targeting minorities and harming the stereotype, as well as common phrases that no one is here on illegal land. The population must continue to advocate for immigrants and to keep humanizing them during this scary time. It is our job to remain a community, and we mustn't remain so divided anymore. That was my project on the immigration system for the research paper. This is my works cited page. Thank you so much. I hope you have a great rest of your day.